Hello, welcome to the Eclectic Reader. Listen to great books and stories while you use your eyes and hands for other things. Now here's your host, Madison Mason.
Hi, it's Madison Mason. Well, I hope you're having fun. This is The Gray Quarry Boys, Chapter 33. The Gray Quarry Boys, Chapter 33. Mickey Harriman. Mickey Harriman parked his Harley beside the Cadillac and bounded down the stone stairs. Under the shadow of the roof, he straddled the wall and unzipped his red canvas windbreaker. He pushed the aviator glasses from his peeling nose up onto his blond flat top, revealing eyes of piercing blue that beamed from his suntanned face. Lifeguard eyes that missed nothing, that took pride in scanning the glaring horizon. Nonchalant, Mickey popped his gum and eased the black shades back down onto his tender nose. "Y'all know what they call two guys who dance together, don't you?" He smiled slyly. Eddie immediately stopped dancing and found sweeping to do. He didn't want to ever be considered one of them. The only worst thing he could be was a commie. Bill Haley wound down with a dum-da-da-da-dum-bum as Tommy grinned and gasped. "I just love the shit out of that song. Woo! Man said it's going to be 94 today. Y'all ready to open her up?" He shuffled back to the concession stand and Mickey pulled off his jacket and tossed it to Eddie. Eddie put it in a wire basket and set it in the rack. He took the silver pin with the number off the basket and came from around the counter to hand it to his bronze hero. In the growing sunlight, the hair on Mickey's legs shone gold against his dark skin. Eddie planned when he was 18 and had his senior life-saving badge, he'd look just like that. "Race you to the float," Mickey grinned, white and straight, their morning ritual before work. "Okay, here's your number." Eddie tossed the pin, clattering just beyond Mickey's reach, and took off at a dead run for the beach. He heard Mickey laugh, "You little pissant," and he hit the water swimming. He wasn't 3 strokes out when he could hear Mickey slam across the top and his powerful arms pound the water into a froth as he pumped past. Eddie poured every cell of physical power into his stroke. His strong legs pushed him faster than he had ever swum, but he was no match for Mickey's measured stride and sturdy shoulders. The lifeguard passed him like a liner passing a sailboat. As he reached the float, he did a sudden flip and disappeared under the surface, feet in perfect form. Eddie stopped, panting hard, and realized he was in trouble. He turned and headed back to shore, kicking with all his might. Somewhere under, in the murky darkness, Mickey was heading for him. It scared him as if there were a shark down there, ravenous maw poised to tear off his legs. Mickey was one of those guys who was nice enough, but he knew how to exact painful revenge on any kid who disobeyed the rules or talked back, and humiliate a guy if he cried. At that moment, Mickey exploded the surface right in front of him and came down yelling, his powerful hands atop the wet dome of Eddie's head, and shoved him under. But Eddie was ready for him. He knew if he didn't do something quick, Mickey would hold him down to the point of agony. He quickly grabbed the bottoms of Mickey's trunks and yanked them down past his ankles. Mickey released his head immediately in an attack of teen modesty. Eddie wasted no time and swam for all he was worth underwater to the shore. He ran gasping onto the beach and tore into the stand to hide behind Tommy as Mickey rose out of the water, pulling his trunks on and laughing. "You little perv, I had to go to the bottom for these. I'm going to drown your butt." "Hey, Tommy, I pantsed him." "Pick on somebody your own size," Eddie giggled, still trying to get his breath. Mickey flipped him the finger and grabbed his canvas bag, heading for the lifeguard stand. Eddie punched up several songs on the jukebox he knew people would like to hear playing when they arrived. Nat King Cole doing "Answer Me, Oh My Love." The Ames Brothers, "Yes, I Love You." Kitty Callan singing "Little Things Mean a Lot." Mostly romantic music this summer, although there was also The Happy Wanderer, but Eddie thought it was a dweeby song. Hernando's Hideaway was fun. He tossed the keys on the counter as Tommy read the Sentinel and smoked Camels. The first cars pulled into the lot. By 11 o'clock, the place was packed. People were forced to park up on the shoulder of the highway. Kids screamed and ran around as families ate picnics and dads played in the horseshoe pits. Eddie spent most of the morning picking up trash, collecting clothes, checking in clothes, and stamping hands. By noon, all the inner tubes were rented, and Eddie was loading drinks in the cooler and rushing around behind the counter, avoiding the sweaty bulk of Big Hot Tommy as he laughed and joked and rang up candy sales on the register. Mickey stood guard over the aquatic uproar, a silent, strong, bronzed Adonis atop the turquoise lifeguard stand, worshipped and coveted by females of all ages. He nonchalantly rubbed yet more coppertone over his rippling arms and shoulders, silvered lenses scanning the roiling surface for danger. When his sharp whistle pierced the air, anybody doing anything even remotely illegal ceased and pretended innocence. No kid wanted to cross Mickey. His justice was law, as with the marshals of the Old West, swift and relentless. Exiled to the shore, a guy was wasted, shamed, and useless as a beached seal. It was tough to wait on land the whole afternoon while all the guys you came with cavorted until it was time to go, having fun at your expense whenever you looked their way. There was no court of last resort either. Mickey was the lifeguard. Mickey ruled. Around 1:30, Eddie got hungry and needed a break. The pain in his stomach cried out for chicken salad on whole wheat and a Coke. A short man with a graying flat top slid his basket across the counter, and Eddie racked it. He paid no particular attention and turned to hand him his number pin, thinking only about food. Suddenly, the man grabbed Eddie's left wrist hard and pulled the boy so close they were face to face. Eddie could smell decayed breath, and he stared into the man's fierce eyes. His wrist was held immobile in the powerful stranger's grasp, and oily sweat stood out on the man's brow. "Son," the customer demanded through clenched brown teeth, "are you saved?" What? Eddie could only stammer. "Are you saved?" They were killer's eyes. I think so," the scared boy mumbled, taken by shock. He heard his own voice as if it came from the end of a long tube far away, and his heart slammed his ribs. "Talk to Jesus. Ask Jesus to take you in. Don't burn in hell's fire." Yes, sir," he mumbled, limp and scared. The man's iron grasp released suddenly, and he vanished as fast as he came. Eddie stood cold and shaken in the boiling heat. He felt his knees tremble, and was struck with fear and hate for this creep at once. Who the hell was this guy to go around scaring the crap out of unsuspecting kids? It made him mad. "Saved? Shit, I'm only 11 years old," he thought. "What the heck have I ever done to go to hell for?" He looked out into the ocean of people for the zealot whose icy grasp he could still feel on his wrist. The man had disappeared, probably baptizing people in the water, he thought, his heart racing. "I need a break," he sighed, and closed the check room. Behind the concession counter, he unwrapped a sandwich, shoved half in his mouth, and inhaled while he made change for Tommy, who was taking in money as fast as his fat red fist could wrap around it, smiling and joking all the while. Customers smiled back, whether they wanted to or not. You couldn't fight Tommy's good nature.
We hope you have enjoyed this episode of The Eclectic Reader. Please go on to the next numbered episode to continue. Also, check us out on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. If you'd like to help support the project, you can donate under Madison Mason at Patreon. And please, check out our website, kltkrdr.com, for more information.
Hi, this is Madison Mason. I want to personally thank you for listening to The Eclectic Reader and invite you to share your experience, your thoughts, and your suggestions. We have many great books lined up for the future, but if you have requests for anything that is in the public domain, please email us at kltkrdr@gmail.com.
kltkrdr@gmail.com